the only thing people were kind of disappointed is that we'll probably buy 2 units of Nintendo, one for you, one for me.
Ube.
Matcha, we're talking about Nintendo Switch 2. We waited for 8 years since the last release of a console, Switch release. I remember buying the very first unit right as they opened the pre-order.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually we bought it for our wedding. What do you call it? Best best woman,
Best lady.
best lady.
Because we didn't have a best man. We had
Yeah, best lady. Yeah, we wanted to buy for them.
Yeah, as a gift.
Thanks to helping us out. So the very first unit, it was actually a gift. And then I also didn't know if I'm gonna like the console or not. So I was like, okay, we'll just gift it to you, and then you tell us if it's worth buying it. And then I ended up buying. But yeah, I still remember like buying, like it was online and it was easy enough to buy. And I'm actually hoping that will be the case again, and hopefully not many scalpers. Hopefully Nintendo
Snatch them up,
release enough. But yeah, but let's look at the trailer.
Yeah, let's see
I'm gonna do
what is up.
a little bit of a comment. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watched it, so we're just gonna add our own commentary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts out with the old Switch. This is the current Switch with the neon color.
Pop.
Pop. And then what's gonna happen is the
show
screen gets bigger. And then they show like this texture being added. Like it zooms in with texture like this.
Oh, and they like add. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They add like the buttons, expanded some features or some parts of it.
Actually, let me play. Okay, yeah, here. They added they have a USB-C port with the, I don't know what these side things are.
Those?
I don't know if it's anything to do with it, but the texture is like a biggest thing. Like so it doesn't feel like a cheap plastic material. I think also better for fingerprinting.
So you can charge this with what? The same as the iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually been the case with the original Switch.
Yeah.
They were actually ahead of time in adding USB-C as primary mode of charging and docking.
Thought about that.
8 years ago, even iPhone didn't have, or even iPad or iPhone didn't have USB-C at the time. So they were really ahead of time. Then they're showing the power button, then volume button, and then they show this grill for fan. I'm pretty sure it uses more power.
Oh, so then
Probably has more heat. Yeah, fan it out. What's notable is that they added second USB-C port. And some people were actually confused when I was watching other people react to the video, that they were confused why there's 2 USB-C ports. And actually, a lot of recent hardwares have been shipping with the 2 ports. And their primary reason is that people want to charge their device while they're playing with additional accessories added to it. So I own X-Real Glass, where I can plug in a USB-C connected to a glass that projects screen into my eyes, or I can see the projection of it, so that I can play game in like much larger screens. There has been a lot of devices like that. The problem is that because it takes up a USB-C port, I cannot charge the device at the same time if I want to play longer than like 2 or 3 hours of the battery life of Switch. And also when you're docking your Switch, then you can't connect any additional accessories to it. Right?
Because it's that port's been taken out.
Yeah. So the modern hardware requirements include not just one USB-C, because one USB-C port always needs to be used for charging. There needs to be another port where you can add accessories. So that's why I think it's added. And then they added full size, what do you call the back?
It's like a stand.
Yeah. And it looks like it can bend back even more.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they did that so that some games are like more optimal, even with like a pen accessories or something, where you
you can use that
throw on it.
tablet.
Yeah, tablet. Yeah. because people have been coming up with the really creative use, like playing piano.
Oh, on the Switch, yeah. And so it's more comfortable to have it like in a certain.
And controllers,
You go, it got bigger.
It got bigger and now it's a black color, and then the colors are accent.
I kind of like that, how they added the color.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, right?
The reveal is really interesting.
Yeah, and people have been voicing like, I don't like these neon colors. That's like kind of, front and center, that people thought it's a little too ugly.
Yeah, like gaudy. Or just too in your face.
And they want to fit within the rest of
their
gaming
accessories.
Yeah, which is primary black. And then this is the controller. Instead of like trying to put the plastic onto it, there's like a extruded portion that now shows the battery, because previously these were just embedded into like a flat surface, right?
Yeah.
So people say this should be more ergonomic than previous version.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there is this magnet connector. Instead of the click mechanism, it's a magnet detaching. Right. Again, I think modern hardwares are more magnet, right? Like MagSafe, all these magnets tied to the device. Then I think there are other switches, but what's notable is this little circle part here. And this is the same part as the bottom of the mouse, where it projects the laser to calculate the coordinate. And soon it will show how it might be used. But yeah, this is the other side of the controller.
Switched, yeah.
Yeah, it does the same exact thing. And then it goes into that mode where it looks like a mouse. And some people are confused of like, why is it like sliding on the surface?
Yeah, why is it like that?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, but based on the patent, we know that there's the I think it's infrared or some kind of laser technology used to calculate the coordinates.
What kind of games like that?
And if you look at this shape, the L button or R button, it's like a mouse click, right?
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
So now it enables playing game that requires more precise coordinate. And those are traditionally like a PC games that requires, like, if you play, I don't know, Minecraft and you want to precisely position something on the screen, it's much easier to use the actual mouse instead of like using the joystick to like try to
like snap. In the air doing it, but now you can do it like
more like precise, right? Yeah. So it enables more possibilities for the game.
Yeah.
Then a magnet clicks.
It's kind of cool that you can actually watch this without any sound too and understand.
Yeah, music doesn't really do.
The story is like really how they put the trailer together, like building the story and the parts, how they work, and then how in unison it's all in sync. I think it's very Nintendo. I think, like telling stories without really using voices.
Yeah, there wasn't even a voice in this trailer too. So what was interesting is that this Switch 2 logo was already like leaked or rumored to be like
the logo of the
Switch 2. Yeah. And some people thought it's like a Super Nintendo or Switch or some more creative name.
Super Nintendo would be cute. It'd be like a throwback.
Yeah, Super Switch or something like that. And then the controller colors would even follow the scheme, like blue and red and those buttons from the NES controller time. But yeah, I guess it's gonna be Switch 2, Switch 3, Switch, that kind of like PlayStation's nomenclature.
Or maybe, because there was a Wii 1, right?
No, there's a Wii and Wii U.
Oh, Wii U.
Yeah.
Okay, they made the U.
So we thought it would be more creative sequel name, but Switch 2, that makes sense. It's probably the clearest thing you can do, like a Mario Kart 9, right? You know which one is the latest just by looking at the number, not some creative title. It's like,
yeah, because you're like, is the Wii U before the Wii, or
the Wii Origin?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the next one they might completely do different though, because we never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
like they could become not a Switch anymore.
And then, of course, they have to have a launch title that entice people. And Mario Kart, it's one of like the most popular, I think, game on Switch, and it makes sense because you want to spread the joy of playing game with other people.
Yeah, multiplayer is like is really strong with Mario Kart. Like it's a really popular party game. I feel like one that everyone can kind of join it
Yeah.
pretty easily.
And instead of like a Mario Party, which is more or less like it's more fun when you're in the physical space together. But Mario Kart, people play with their friends
like
online remotely, right?
Yeah.
So like all these things they did, I think a really good calculated move. The only thing people were kind of disappointed is that everything is according to the leak and the rumor. So
there were no
there's
like
no elements of surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
People said leaks kind of took joy and surprise out of it.
Yeah.
But what's good is that a lot of Nintendo Switch, the original Switch games are compatible with the Switch too. I stopped buying Switch games because, like the life cycle, end of the life cycle was near, right? So I didn't want to buy a game like if the new console is coming out. But now it gives consumers the confidence to continue to buy a game until it's released, right? Because I can play the game. And then they say they have Switch 2 exclusive games that probably requires a lot of power. So you can't really play that on the old Switch. I want more things to move forward because it's been 8 years. I want better graphics.
Right.
I want better frame rate.
Exactly. I was like looking at the resolution, like can I see more details?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What titles are you most excited about?
I mean, I think that it's kind of long overdue for some like old like main characters like for Nintendo that I haven't really seen games of in a while, or like titles that are really standout titles like Kirby, I think is a big one.
Switch had quite a bit of Kirby games.
Yeah, Kirby I think is due for one, and I feel like they always need like like almost like that standout title for it. Yoshi really cute, I think. Like I want like a real like Yoshi like adventure. I mean, I know there's like other ones like Yoshi Epic Yarn.
Some are like created for maybe younger.
Yeah, so like I want like an adventure.
I want the hard mode Yoshi.
Well, yeah, I guess, or like like Yoshi's Story. I think was like the older one. Even like I like the Kirby, like the adventure Kirby. I like the side scrolling ones.
Oh yeah,
like, with the
RPG
adventure and like Paper Mario. I know Paper Mario, like a recent one too, but like
it was like a flop. I think.
Yeah,
the recent one. Even the Mario Brothership one was kind of flop. Where the Luigi just follows the Mario, and you can't actually play.
They can't actually
Luigi. Yeah, so I was like, what's that for? Right? What's his for? Right?
Yeah.
I'm most hoping to get there are two titles that I can think of. One is the probably the latest like Zelda series.
Oh yeah, Zelda's.
They always put.
They have a big adventure one that. Like I guess like if it was like a really epic one, like not that I don't like Wind Waker, but Wind Waker in some ways the animation is like a little different. Like I think getting a like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask style, like in an updated one would be really good. I mean Breath of the Wild I feel like is like that.
I think Breath of the Wild was really good, but also really hard.
Okay.
Not really casual.
Yeah. Because I feel like it was easier to pick up the other ones like Ocarina.
Yeah. I think casual titles are nice.
Yeah.
I'm also excited about maybe new Animal Crossing type one where it's like a cozy games where I can pick up anytime. And my friend's progress doesn't leave me behind.
Yeah.
And I can visit other people's world. I like those titles where like low pressure, people spend their own time. I can enjoy myself. I can also enjoy it with other people.
Yeah.
I'm also interested in Fantasy Life. This was a game that was originally released in 3DS where you can be any class that you want, but classes are not like a battle class. It's like a chef class or a fisher class, fighter class, and you can play with other people. Oh, I think I'm also interested in the Crystal Chronicles.
Oh yeah, that's been a long time since I've heard Crystal Chronicles. Yeah, so yeah, like that.
Where you cooperate with your friends to play together.
Yeah. I was gonna say like some oldies like Star Fox.
Yeah.
I was a big fan, and there hasn't really been a new Star Fox like in anything for like the longest time since like N64.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
like anything, like any good old IPs that are like newly imagined, like I'll take anything, right? Yeah. Especially like we grew up with, I think millennial generation again are like at the heart of the maybe the SNES and later titles where like we just like to keep playing the same IP just in different ways, but not too maybe radical. And the homepage just goes into highlighting what do you think of overall hardware updates besides just games being rendered at a better resolution and higher frame?
I mean, I think it's going to enable different kinds of games.
Are you actually interested in different kind of play style? Like, do you actually want to play with it like a mouse or like
I think maybe with other
weird
people,
accessories?
I don't know, maybe with other people, but I don't know by myself. I guess like what kind of game, I guess, would you play that by yourself?
I think I just want simple, like where I can just relax and not pay attention.
Oh, okay, yeah.
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 I mean, sometimes it's fun to have like the bowling and tennis and all that stuff, but definitely
I
not
guess
like
like how often, yeah, do you
yeah.
play that?
That's like when there's a party happening, then yes, but that's like such a rare thing. Most of the time, I just want to find like a little crevice of time that I can play a game. And I
Yeah.
want it to be low energy, low engagement. I just want to play. I'm excited with the hardware updates, but I don't know if I'll buy lots of accessories. There will be like exercise accessories and all that stuff, but I don't know. Those games tend to become repetitive.
Yeah, you maybe play them for the novelty, but you don't continue playing them for
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And they're gonna have an official Nintendo Direct
Yeah, I was gonna say like
right after April 4th.
I guess like I was like, huh, what's the announcement gonna be like? Are they gonna do a Nintendo Direct? But they didn't do it. They just let the visual, they let the product speak for itself.
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah.
They are like the first ones in the gaming industry to get out of like the shows, trade shows like E3, and then started to own their own channel.
I mean, honestly, though, they have such a big following. It's like, what do we need to do? Like, it speaks for itself. Like, Nintendo's been around forever, so they're like, we don't really need this stage. We have like our own stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they can announce things on their own timing.
Yeah, and people will pay
trading show.
attention. Yeah, and they'll get their own press from it, right?
Yeah. And what's kind of cool is almost right after the Nintendo Direct announcement, they're going to have a presence. I think
Or like an activation.
hands-on. I think it's around the world, and I think just because we're on the U.S. side, we're only seeing the cities in America.
Okay.
So there's one in New York, Los Angeles, Dallas. I did already put us into the Dallas.
Sweet. Yeah.
See, it's a drawing, so you can register. It took me like probably an hour to actually get a spot to even register because their site was overwhelmed.
Oh, okay. Like everyone was jumping in.
Yeah, it keeps timing out. And like you have to log in. So if you forget to log in, you first have to go through login. Then if you want to add your family members, you have to go to Nintendo Online and officially add your family members. And like you have to create a family and add family members. And after that, you have to have every family members
go in
and verify.
Yeah, which I had to do.
Yeah, so there's a lot of prep thing that I wish they would tell us so that we're prepared.
I mean, maybe it'd be so popular though. Maybe some people are not going to go all the way through. I don't know.
But yeah, it's a drawing. So even after you register, it's a free. But after you register, you still have to win.
Oh yeah, so it's not guaranteed that you're able to go to the activation. Yeah.
And I bet similar thing would happen with the pre-order. I think pre-orders are going to also, they might even limit to first you have to have a Nintendo account before you can place pre-order or something.
Make sure like you're actually,
because it makes it harder for the bots and the scalpers
to just
like
snatch them.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it might be the first units.
They have enough like super fans for that.
Yeah. So hopefully we win, because if we do, we'll definitely go there and film ourselves. Experience and then report back.
They were trying to go to Dallas.
Yeah.
Right.
And even if we don't get in, we'll probably just buy 2 units so that we can have multiplayer. I think the price is rumored to be around $400 for the US market, which seems reasonable. Once it starts to go into 500, then it starts to be like, oh, I can buy PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say with
that,
like better and better probably capabilities.
yeah, because even though the hardware is upgraded, I think based on the leaked spec, people found that the technology is still like based on 2018.
Oh, okay. So it's a little behind,
Yeah, it's already like a somewhat little behind. So people express some concerns, but it's good enough to be able to play Nintendo type titles where graphics are not the main thing. So hopefully it's not a biggest thing, but hopefully it will last next 5 years without any problems. But yeah, any overall thought, comments, and by the way, like I want all the audience members to also comment what you thought of the Switch 2 announcement before we dive into our own opinion. But I'll start. I'm pretty excited. I think we might end up getting into even streaming
Yeah, I think that'd be
of
really
us getting
fun.
to play the game together. Because I think those are the content sometimes I see influencers trying to play the game with each other, multiplayer. But I think most of the influencers are solo players, and that's good. But I think I'm most interested in games that are more multiplayer based.
Yeah.
Because that's when I enjoy playing the game most.
Yeah, I think Nintendo is really good at multiplayer, but like I do miss their adventure like one player games because in general like there's more longevity than a fun single player, really well done single player game.
Yeah,
because you're gonna spend a lot more time playing alone. I think unless you play,
typically.
like, RPG.
Yeah,
games,
typically. Yeah. What are you most excited about? Most anticipated?
I mean, I think it'll be cool to see the new games and maybe it'll probably be a novelty though, like maybe the new ways that you can play. But I don't know. I think I wonder what the next generation I guess would be because I feel like we got an upgrade I guess of the Switch, but in a way it was like kind of as expected and nothing like completely like out of the blue or just like completely different. And I think in the past, Nintendo has done things that are completely different, like the jumps from, well, I mean, also the split from like, we had like Super Famicom and N64. But then you also had like Game Boy, things like that.
Kind of split into
Yeah, they
multiple
split it,
branches.
and it's like really and completely different use cases in a way, but like still really fun. Like they're both like really well done and they split them out like in a really interesting way. I think this was like really expected. Which is good, but it's like
because it had such a huge success with the Switch, and why not do both mobile, portable? It solves all the problems, right?
I feel like maybe it was just more innovative in the past where like when N64 was like introduced, it was like a new way of playing together. And then that was also the same case with Game Boy and like Pokemon coming out. Like you could trade like with each other, like connect your like Game Boys. But like it was just like a very like innovative way to play together that they almost like developed too, like when they released it. And I don't know what the innovative way. It'd be interesting to see what the innovative angle is here because it looks like more of just an update of the Switch and maybe playing it safe in this market makes sense. But then at the same time, would have been cool to see something like.
I think I'm anticipating the new magnet attachment will be how they add on the experience like a DLC.
Yeah.
Where you buy additional experience, like maybe it supports the VR headset, right? That you put on top, right? To connect to the VR. And I anticipate like a fun is added on top of the baseline common form factor that everyone now has. Less so like a foundation to be weird because they had a Wii U flop, and I'm pretty sure investors are not going to be happy to see.
Yeah, I guess that's
flop,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So they still need to return the money to investors like consistently, but they can experiment more safely with the accessory that's like, oh, I guess nobody liked it, but you didn't have to waste so much money and time building that. So I anticipate Nintendo to be creative in that way. And because of these amusement parks that they have, the Nintendo World, their extent of creativity might be like not just looking at hardware innovation.
Oh, I see. Like expanding out to entertainment in
Yeah,
general,
in
like
different
physical
worlds. Yeah,
experiences,
physical, digital,
experiences.
right? Yeah.
That makes sense. I think, yeah, getting now it's almost like physical experiences are more unique because everything is so digitized
Yep.
that like going back
Yep.
to the real world is almost like the
And I buy most games on
Yeah.
Steam now too.
attractive factor. Yeah.
Not
That's
even on
true,
Nintendo because I want to own game not dependent on hardware.
That's true. Yeah. There's more
I think more people are
systems that
kind of
enable that.
getting wary of like buying game that will become obsolete, and there has been a lot of that in like past year and two, where like a Sony, PSP games, and I think Nintendo game titles, where all the games are like gone, right?
Mhm.
Or they'll be shutting down the service, so you can no longer play some of those games.
Mhm.
And there have been a lot of influencers who try to save that by downloading all those games and then creating a master archive
Right.
of these games. So I think people are becoming wary of games just kind of expiring out of existence. So I see games becoming more of a digital thing that lives on its own.
Yeah.
The hardware just has to provide a common ground to play any games into the future, like all these backwards compatibility. But how do you still innovate and refine? And maybe even the next generation, they're not going to take any leap because maybe the gaming industry has converged into like the sameness of what people
Yeah.
accept as good controller means this form factor, right? Larger screen and OLED screen, all these technologies people expect to be kind of same and not too different
Right.
because best things are, yeah. And I only see like a retro game industry, like all these Chinese companies releasing retro game forms and shape, becoming more of like a way to enjoy the retro style gaming. It's not for Nintendo to go back. But it's more for those companies in China to kind of revive some of the nostalgic form factors. Like I keep seeing those devices coming out, right? But maybe not like for Nintendo to bring that back. But
Yeah.
Nintendo just keep moving forward. But yeah, any last comment? Are you excited with the
Yeah, I mean, I'd be excited to see the releases too, like the initial
lineup of games?
releases.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I think that's always like really iconic too when they come out with a new console. Like, what games do they actually release with it?
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting to see.
I remember
Yeah.
the friends we gave the Switch to, they're like, yeah, thank you, but I don't know what we're gonna do with it. There weren't that many games at the launch, but hopefully there's something stronger than just Mario Kart, because we might get it, but like we don't really play a lot of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I really enjoy Mario Kart, but it's fun to play with other people.
Yeah.
I barely
And
play
once in
it
a
by
while,
myself.
too.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to play by myself when I had more time. But
Yeah.
now it's like you really want to play with other people.
yeah.
So I want to beat other people. I'm really good.
Well, let us know what launch titles you want to have or like soonish after release. Hopefully the release happens right after the April Nintendo Direct,
Yeah.
like May or June release, so that we can get into playing some games together. Yeah, let us know, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you know all these video coming out when we release next time in the future.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.